Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Theory Thursday. Theory Thursday is where we take a deep dive into one aspect of Blood Bowl. Whether it's stats or strats, the goal here is to learn as much as we can about this game that we love, in the vague hope that maybe we'll get a lot better at it. So this week, Games Workshop spoiled the next 2-star player models coming from Games Workshop, which are Fungus the Loon and Bomber Dribblesnot. Now, what it did was it got us thinking about actually the benefits of a star player, the benefits of bombers, the benefits of ball and chain players, and I thought, actually, we haven't done anything about ball and chains on Theory Thursday. They can be very useful. They're great at taking out players. There's some other things you can do as well, and we're going to have a look at just statistically how likely you are to hit that one target with your ball and chain. Anyway, let's have a look at ball and chain basics. Okay, so the ball and chain is a strange weapon. Now, these are secret weapons, so whoever's running the ball and chain is likely to get sent off at the end of the drive. But it means while they're on the pitch, it's fantastic. So, unlike a normal player who moves squares equal to their movement value, the ball and chain player moves one square per point of movement value and will do so using the throw-in template. So what we've got up here is 1-2 to the left, 3-4 straight ahead, 5-6 to the right, and this player will essentially move up into one of the 3 squares. Now you get to choose which direction to go in. Okay, so if your player has got a good target here, you can elect to go that way instead of straight up, and then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go into those squares. And say you've got 3 squares of movement, it will be a case of going, I'm going to go up, roll the dice, get a 5. Right, I'm going to go up again, roll a dice, get a 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going to go left, roll a dice, 3, 4. Okay, that's my 3 squares of movement done. And if there is a dude here, and a dude here, you would make a block against each one of them in sequence. So you find out which square you are headed to. If there is a guy there, you will block him. It doesn't matter who that guy belongs to. If this is a friendly player or if this is an opponent or technically a referee, you will punch them. Now the great thing about ball and chain players, all the ones that are in the core game, they're all strength 7. So you are 3-dying the majority of players. And this is where ball and chains can be so useful. And if you can get Mighty Blow to that ball and chain player as well, just from this example here, there's an opportunity for you to hit several players in one turn. And that's where the ball and chain comes in. There's a massive amount of strength, multiple blocks essentially, but it is random as you can imagine essentially. And we're going to have a look at the stats of choosing a specific target and how frequently you are going to hit exactly what you want to hit. But the benefit of the ball and chain player is that you can make 3 to 5 to 7 if you're running Creek the Rust Gouger Verminator, the Verminator Rust Gouger, 7 potential moves, which means 7 potential blocks. Now, if you hit a target that is already on the ground, whether they're prone or stunned, what will happen is you will roll against their armor. Now, this isn't a foul, so you can't get sent off for it. So, as you are sweeping that ground, you will be hitting anybody that you come in contact with. You get to push them back as if you'd blocked, and then you follow up into that square. So, the ball and chain can clear a lot of space. And with strength 7 and the potential of having Mighty Blow, if you're a goblin coach, you're running a ball and chain player, you're fanatic, Mighty Blow is a strength skill. It is potentially one of the best ones to get. You can also take grab, I think, but Mighty Blow, as this guy here is here to be removal, Mighty Blow is a fantastic skill. And when we see Fungus the Loon land, Fungus the Loon in the last 2 editions had Mighty Blow each time, and movement 4 actually, which gave you 1 extra square of movement. And I guess that's the best thing to go to here. Standard Goblin Fanatics will have 3 squares of movement. Then you can rush, and rushing with this is so fantastic. It gets you 1 extra shot at hitting your target. It gets you 1 extra shot at just taking a free block of 2 to 3 dice, taking just a free hit at a guy on the ground. And because these guys are secret weapon, you're not going to have them for much longer than the drive. You may have a bribe. You may have, Creek, the Verminator Rust Gouger, he's got a special ability that basically the first time he gets sent off, he just doesn't get sent off. So you get Creek for 2 drives, and whether you're running Goblins or just straight up running Fungus the Loon, the star player, there's a potential that you'll have a bribe in there so that they actually get to make another drive. But because you want to maximize TVOP, because you want to make sure that you losing a player is at least equal to them, they become a source of removal. And Ball and Chains, back in the last edition, the edition before that, there was a star player called Fezglitch who played for Skaven. He was a cheap star player just for Skaven. Essentially, he was a plague bearer, a plague sensor bearer. So he was swinging his big thing around, as they say. And I often took him with my Skaven team. Okay, you guys know how I play my Skaven. Any team, my players tend to die a lot, so I tend to be down on TV. I've got some great stars and I can agile my way out of anything, but my TV tends to be quite low. And being able to take that strength 7 piece to just go for 1 drive to try and take out a couple of players was really useful. But even though you do want to maximize the removal, so when it comes to Goblins, sneaking in a bit of dirty player fouling afterwards on the guys that have been knocked down, incredibly useful. Even though you want to get that removal, it's okay, because for 1 drive you are probably going to knock down 2 to 3 guys, and when those guys get taken down, your opponent essentially loses activation. So even if it's not hard removal, you will, generally speaking, score some soft removal, and your opponents will be very, very, very aware of the Ball and Chain. So let's have a look at the percentage chance of your Fanatic hitting exactly the person that you want to hit, because there are 2 downsides of Ball and Chains. One is they never seem to hit what you want them to hit. And the second thing is there's a very easy way to take them out. But we'll talk about that one in a second. Let's have a look at specific targeting with a Fanatic. Now, when you move, you roll the dice. You choose your direction, whether you're going up, down, left or right. You place the template, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like this. And you roll the dice, and that is where the Fanatic will move into. That is where the Ball and Chain player will try to move into. If there's a player on the ground, they'll roll armor, push, follow. If there's a dude there, they'll block, push, follow. So there's a 1 in 3 chance of you hitting. Say that the Fanatic starts his activation right slap bang face on with somebody that you want to take out. Okay, it's a great opportunity to take out somebody big guy. If you've got a Ball and Chain against the ball carrier, it's about to be a very exciting turn. So you need to roll exactly what you need to roll on the dice, okay, which is a 1 in 3 chance. But we've already said Goblin Fanatics 3 movement plus 2 for a go for it twice, obviously, and then Creek has got 5 movement, 5 flipping movement to run around the place and try and hit a dude, and then a go for it, and then another go for it. So let's extrapolate the stats and the chances of you being able to punch this guy accurately with a series of go for it's. So we already know that for attack 1, essentially, you've got a 1 in 3 chance of going the right direction and hitting the dude you want. But let's say you sidestep around that target, okay? You roll a 5-6, you bounce up to there. Then you redirect yourself this way and go for the second go, alright? This is essentially the same as a 5+ with a reroll. It goes from a 33% chance of hitting him to an overall chance of 55%. So if you've got 2 squares of movement and you've got a Ball and Chain who's face in with a target, there's a better than half chance that with 2 moves they're going to hit it. With 3 moves that goes up to 70%, because you've got that 1 in 3 chance, and then the 1 in 3 chance, and then you're going to come back at them and there's a 70% chance that in one of those 3 moves you will hit the dude. But this is where those go for it's get even better, because it takes it up from 70 to 80% to 87%. So with 5 moves, and this will not surprise you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. With a couple of go for it's, you've got an 87% chance of smacking that dude with a Ball and Chain, and that's where that strength 7 comes in very handy. And if Fungus the Loon is good to go, that's where Mighty Blow seriously tries to get that cheeky bit of removal. Now, one thing we should probably discuss is just how vulnerable ball and chain players are. So they're strength 7. That is awesome. We've seen the kind of carnage that they can wreak. They can reap 3, 5, 7 blocks, and it's always quite entertaining, or at least it was in the olden days, to chuck a double on a ball and chain, give them sure feet, give them sprint, 1 extra movement, 1 extra block, potentially. The best way to take out a Fanatic, and this is probably going to be no surprise to anybody, is to run at them and attack them. Strength 7 is pretty massive, but there's a lot of answers in a lot of teams out there. So whether you are running a Troll Slayer with Dauntless, whether you've got a Minotaur who's going to be able to blitz in, or whether you're just willing to take the 2 die up block, hitting that ball and chain and taking them out is incredibly useful. And it can be the best way to take away that threat. You're going to get blocks. They're going to be able to make multiple blocks. But ultimately, it comes down to this. If this player ever falls over, is knocked down or placed prone, an injury roll is immediately made against them. No armor roll is required, treating stunned as knocked out instead. Actually, they can't take grab anymore. Diving tackle, frenzy, grab, multiple block, on the ball, leap or shadowing cannot be taken. So when you're playing against a ball and chain player, you want to take that 2 die up and take them both down. Okay, you want to just try and power them down as quickly as possible, because they're gone and they are at least knocked out, and most of them, if not all of them, I think all of them at the moment, are secret weapons. There are some secret teams where there are some ball and chain players who aren't secret weapons, and those are great players. Personally, I think the pump wagons should be operating this way, but it's a shame that they don't. Take them out, go for that KO, and they are probably done for the game. But what that does mean is, if you are running Fungus the Loon, if you're running that Goblin, if you're bringing Creek Rust Gouger onto your team, then they cannot be left alone. You cannot just Leroy Jenkins them off, okay, on 7 absolutely wicked smashes. You can, but your opponent is likely to just gang up, go for a 1 or 2 die block, knock them down, and that is it. Automatic removal. So you do have to introduce some flankers, and you will be in danger, therefore, of running over your own guys. But sometimes it's not always a bad thing to hit your own person, because of this very cunning tactic. So chain pushes. If you have got a ball and chain guy, this opens up a lot of opportunities to you can actually fudge a 1-turn touchdown with some very lucky rolls using this method. So there's 2 angles here. One is you can stack the ground so that if you take a successful block, it knocks one of your opponent's players into a place where there is nowhere for them to go. And that will essentially give you the opportunity to take that push up and to pop your guy out on the other side. Everybody knows how chain pushes work, but studying this and thinking about it with the ball and chain is going to be able to help a lot. 2 angles to that. One, you can free up your own players. You can push them away, and if you haven't activated them again, you can just basically eliminate the chance to fail that dodge by popping them out into a situation where they're not in base contact anymore. Or you can help your own side line up better blocks for you later on, take tackle zones away, and give you a better opportunity to take those big blocks with the ball and chain. And the second element of this is that you can gain that extra movement and just allow yourself to maneuver your opponent into better targets for your ball and chain. And I know that probably goes without saying, but you push this guy straight back there, you pop your own guy out, and then you've got 3 opponents lining up. And that is a 3 out of 3 chance of you hitting one of your opponent's players. So this works from an angle of when you are using that ball and chain, pushing them into a place where you want to go, whether it's left, right, up or down, there's 2 targets instead of 1. You double the chance of hitting something. But likewise, you can set up really profitable blocks by opening your turn with an easy 2 die block that actually, if you've got a guy here, you take that block and you drop him there, and that means when your Fanatic attacks, you've got 2 out of 3 chance of hitting a really solid target. You can stack the odds in your favour. But it has to be mentioned that when it comes to ball and chain players, most of them are going to have that loner effect, and none of them are going to have combat skills. There's one more cool thing you can do with a Fanatic, and that is straight up launch your own guy. And I don't mean this just from you can try and just push him and it's all great. No. Goblins. Goblin coaches. This is genius. And also, actually, Skaven coaches. And, this is very interesting. Actually, Fungus the Loon is going to have a lot of combos with a lot of teams to be able to do this. You will need a player with dodge, and you will need a ball and chain player. So, strength 7 against strength 3 or less is 3 dice. That gives you a fantastic opportunity to roll something other than triple pows, triple both downs, triple skulls. Alright? Still not great odds, but when you're rolling 3 dice, and let's say that 50% is going to be good for you, pow, both down, and skull, yeah, so 50%. So that goes from 1 dice at 50% to 2 dice 75%, 3 dice 87.5% chance of you being able to turn that 3-die block into a push or a dodge star, which is then going to move your guy up. Now, you've got to hit him first, alright, which is never going to be easy with a ball and chain Fanatic. We've already looked at that. There's a high likelihood that you're going to bounce there on your first move, and then you're going to try and come back down and end up all the way over there, and that's going to be of no use to you. Best case scenario, you go 1, you go 2, you hit your guy, and you can push him up to there. And what you're doing then is enabling extra movement. You've got dodge on that player. You've got 3 dice with which to score a push. This is very similar to a Skaven one-turn touchdown, but this is going to benefit you on offense and on defense. If you've got a dodge player and you don't mind risking it, and this is where things like Snotlings with sidestep come in massively handy. So Underworld with hackers definitely risk sometimes Fanatic push, and you don't necessarily have to line them all up on Hackflem because you can do the chain push from previous. But actually we are going to be in a situation soon where this ball and chain player is going to be able to get Hackflem to score a 1-turn touchdown with relative ease. I mean, when you're playing that kind of team, when you're playing with goblins or with Snotlings and stuff like that, nothing is a gimme. But Snotlings with sidestep going to be really useful for this. The stilty runners with move 6, sprint, movement 9, they're going to need what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you need to pull it off pretty impressively, but you're going to be able to boost your players. You can launch your own guy, bounce around. If you've got 3 dice and you've got dodge, the likelihood of your player not going down is pretty high, and that means you can actually squeak in a few squares of extra movement. It is underrated. Watch out for that if you're playing against it, and be prepared to lose your own guy if you're going to attempt it. I love the ball and chain in Blood Bowl. It is one of the best reasons to run goblins, and now you can stack your bribes with the fact that you can take Fungus the Loon as well. You can run both of them. You can fit the Verminator and Fungus the Loon and a Fanatic onto your team and just go mad. This is bringing some of the fun, some of the chaos back into Blood Bowl, and it's awesome. But if you're thinking about it tactically from a way to win, the ball and chain can be hard removal, it can be soft removal, it can sneak extra squares of movement into your team, and if you're playing against the ball and chain in a competitive environment, the best thing for you to do is stack up, pow them down, and get them gone for the game. The ball and chain is a high risk, high reward way to do things, and I tell you what, when the ball and chain is on the pitch, the focus will be on it. Whether it's you trying to take it out or you running it and just cannot wait to roll or go for it. Cannot wait to rush to get that up to 5 squares. Cannot wait to run the Verminator and bounce around for 7 blocks. The potential is massive. The likelihood is it's going to stumble, double both down and take itself out. And that's okay because most of them are like what? Even Rust Gouges, 170k. Fungus the Loon probably going to be about 80, so it's a really cheap way to cause a lot of damage on Blood Bowl, and I absolutely bloomin' love it. Right guys, I'm going to wrap up the video now. Please let me know what you think about this in Blood Bowl. Ball and chain, Fungus the Loon, we're almost back to peak Blood Bowl, and I very, very, very much love it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy ball and chain flailing. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.